Good evening, Mzansi. Welcome to another exciting edition of Training SA right here on SABC3. Now, clearly tonight, I didn't get the memo because both of you are wearing black and white.
And
Did you not tell me?
And you look like a Singapore girl. I love it.
I'm here feeling festive.
Like I want to order my drink and make sure my meal comes very quickly. I love it.
This is what happens when you exit the group chat, ne Elma?
But
you get
guys
left
were making
out.
so much noise. It was just going ping, 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 ping. Yep. Okay, so now, in terms of the business, so we are here for tonight, our guest. Amazing story. He was diagnosed with osteosarcoma growing up, a cancer that affects the bones, in his case, in his left leg, and it left him bedridden for almost 2 years. When he was 11 years old, he decided to have his leg amputated, and this brought to an end his dream of becoming a pro footballer. Tonight, at the age of 25, he is cancer-free. He's an award-winning amputee dancer, that's right, videographer and music producer. And he takes us back to the moments which changed the course of his life forever. This is Life Story with Musa Motha. Warm welcome to Musa.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the invite, and I really appreciate it to be here. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Musa, football was such a big part of your life. You were part of the Ajax development team, right? And then someone kicked you on your knee, and this injury signaled the beginning of the end of your football dreams. Take us back to that moment.
Okay. What happened back then was that, as you just said right now, I was a football player, and I was playing for under 10. So basically what was happening there is like I was the captain, and then we were playing for this tournament. So it happened that, I was, the man of the match, and this guy came up and he kicked me.
He must have played for, I'm sure he plays for Sundowns now.
Yeah, maybe Barcelona, you never know. So yeah, that's what happened. And then a night after day, that's where actually the pain started. I started to, get pains on my knee, and then my knee started to swell, and then that's where we actually started to get some painkillers every day at 11 o'clock at night. My mom would wake up and Musa, are you okay? I'm like, nah, I'm in pain, So it was something that was happening every day. Yeah. So and it happened until my mom was like, it was something like, it took a period of 6 months, I think. So my mom was like, hey, you know what, I'm fed up with this one. Let me just call an ambulance, and then, you know what, we take this, a step further. And then that's where the journey of hospital started, went from hospital to hospital. They couldn't see what was happening, because I wasn't orthopedic. Yeah. And then the orthopedic didn't see what was happening, and my knee was swelling up every day, And there was a point where it was as big as my head, It was heavy and,
Musa, so when you're 10, you're 10 years old when you're finally diagnosed and you get this diagnosis with cancer. Did you understand at that age how serious it was? And when I know Mamako, how did you cope?
The funny part is that I could feel that cancer was like a serious thing, But then in my mind, it was something that I took as if like it was a flu, I think that there was something that actually motivated me and made me stronger because, taking it as a flu, I actually, instilled that mindset, I'm going to be okay, So, I guess the positivity started there.
So you weren't scared?
Not at all, But it was hard for my mom. I could see her like, hey, this strong woman, hey, you know what I mean? So, it was.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you then decided to have the amputation at a very young age. And this is, of course, something that changes your life forever. Talk us through relearning to walk and then also socially integrating with your friends, because you are this new kid now with this whole new kind of set of both challenges, but also you've gone through experiences that people your age had, never even thought of.
Yeah, the journey was not smooth. I wouldn't say I was a superhero, and I just came up and then boom, Musa. After my amputation, I still had that positive mindset. So after my amputation, I actually asked one of my peers, to teach me how to walk before the physiotherapies came up, So that's what actually made me to go a step further. When the physiotherapies came up and he was like, Musa, this is how you hold a crutch. I was 10 steps, ahead of it,
Yeah. Okay.
So it was a bit of a smooth, patch for me. But however, falling and, finding myself adjusting to, now I need to work more with the gravity, So it was a moment of how do I actually bring the information that I have to one thing so that I can be able to focus on it. So it wasn't not like that hard for me, Yeah.
All right. So Refilwe feels Wuti, the school of dancing that you're in, is the Ivan Ailey. No, she's right here. Look at her.
I love the Vianney dance. I love them. I love the work you guys do.
So, tell us.
And of course, Gregory Makoma is amazing as well. Yeah.
Take us through the process of you dancing. Do you need to be assisted somehow? Do you use any special equipment, or you just go with it?
Yeah, just hoy, man. I just hoy. The fun part is that, before I can even go to Vianney Dance Company, I was a street dancer.
Yeah.
So what happened was that I used to dance with both my crutches.
Yeah.
So now when I got there, Greg was the one teaching,
Yes.
in the auditions. So they teach a class and then they take, they take notes of like, okay, how do we help him, So there was first position. He was like, first position. Oh, so now they're using hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in second position, let's go. I'm like, no, how am I going? And then those are the things that I actually had to learn and adjust to it. So I started to think first. It was like, okay,
so you don't use your crutches anymore?
It depends on the
Wait.
On
So
the
you can
movement
dance
sequence.
so you can dance without them?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Guys, he's been to New York
That is
with dancing. This is not your average dancer right here. Tell me about the trip to New York, because you performed there, but also you got to go to New York.
Yeah. I always tell this story. Since I was a young boy playing PlayStation, there was this video game that I used to play, and it was in New York. So my dream from a young age, it was to go to New York.
That's beautiful.
Because you had seen the man.
Yeah.
I know the video game you're talking about. I know it.
So yeah, going there, and Gregory actually created a piece called Rise a year before we went to New York. So the Rise was actually seen by people from New York. So they invited it to play in the festival called Fall for Dance. Yeah, so when they told me that, Musa, you're going to New York, and it was my first international tour, I was so happy, excited. I'm like, hey, dreams do come true, hey.
They do.
Yeah, and when I got there, that's where I actually found the genuine love,
Yeah.
Because after my performance, people couldn't wait to see me, like, hey, where's this guy? I'm changing. When I got there, on the other side, people are waiting for me.
That's beautiful.
Hey, Musa, can I have your autograph? I'm like, what?
From GTA
Absolutely
4
love it.
to New York.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Next stop is in LA, young it.
Yeah.
GTA
Musa,
5.
thank you so much for sharing your story, bringing the love and the joy and the positivity. I love the superstar energy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Well, after the break, Thandiwe Mlauli is redefining the face of animation right here in Mzansi through her company, Studio Yezi. We've got a lot to talk about. See you after this short break. Welcome back to Trending SA. Join the conversation online with the hashtag #on3. Now, they've tugged at our heartstrings and taken us on grand adventures across the world. They've also made us pick sides, choose friends from foes. There's no denying the impact that animated movies and series have had in our lives and on our imaginations, yeah?
Yay. And our guest tonight, like me,
Oh, wow.
Well, okay.
has great love for animated stories, so much that she has gone on to become the first independent black woman to build an animation studio in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the founder of Studio Yezi, Thandiwe Mlauli.
Hello, hello.
Yay.
Thank you so much for having me.
An absolute pleasure.
I love the story of your journey, all the way from Guguletu
Yes, ma'am.
to studying in the States. I
Yes.
mean, you've spent time studying in New York, you've studied the industry in LA.
Yes.
Why did you come back?
Because I felt like it didn't make sense for me to compete in like the States when I felt like we could create an industry in South Africa and on the continent, really. So I was like, okay, I know it's going to take a little bit more work, but let's try. Let's figure out how we can do it, how we can pull our resources together and just make it happen. You know?
Because this isn't the easy route.
No.
Doing it here.
Not at all. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish it was, but it's not. But sometimes the road less traveled is the one that's worth it, you know? Yeah.
Up for the
So,
challenge.
as a lover of animation, and I have to reaffirm that in this table.
Yes.
I know people like Do Comics, people like Super Strikers.
Yes.
And whenever I look at their work, I always just think, see, these guys by Tata Mali. Because this thing is difficult to do,
First
and then
of
it's
all.
expensive,
Yes.
you know? So when you just go out on a limb and you just go, I'm going to do this difficult and expensive thing, do you think that there's a market for it in South Africa? And do you think that the space allows for it?
Absolutely. We just have to create it. I think we've taken it for granted. I feel like, you know, people have made cartoons for like young children, but they've never really sort of taken the time to develop an audience. And we have been consuming animation
Shrek.
from like Japan and America and Europe, and it's like, why can't we have our own? Why can't we say this is Africa, this is South Africa, this is what we have, let's compete on the global stage.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that was really where I was coming from. It was like, there's no lack of audience. There's just people who are lazy to create and to develop the audience. So
Well,
like,
Well, speaking of not being lazy, right?
Yes.
Your passion project, Solar, is independently produced. It is women-owned. Oh my goodness, a woman-led. I love it.
now,
Talk to me about, you know, what it's been like to embark on this journey. What, you know, maybe hurdles, if there've been any, but actually the insights that you've gotten from actually doing this thing.
so in the beginning, it was really hard because it was really hard to convince people of what I was doing, right? Because there's no reference. So that's the most difficult part, because in producing, a lot of the times we have these sort of like show Bibles, financials, they tell you what are your references, who can we compare you to give us an idea of what you're creating. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know.
Take a chance on me?
Right, exactly. And people were like, with money? Like, no.
All right.
So the first part was really convincing people of what it is that I was trying to do. And then, of course, as a woman, people will tell you, like, tone it down, don't put on makeup. Like, especially in the animation sort of nerd community, they tell you, like, you can't be pretty and be a nerd. You can't be pretty and be into comics. And
I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to. I don't want to say it because I didn't want to offend you. I was just like, as far as geeks and nerds go, you are top shelf. Like, I didn't want to say it.
I do wear glasses. I just have contacts
No,
in right
listen,
now,
you'd
know?
still be fine with them. It won't change anything.
The glasses can't hide this glass.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
So I want to know about the characters on
Yes,
Solar, and
yes.
is there room for me to voice one of the villains?
Always angling. Wow.
Aye, okay now. Well, not for the short film, but maybe for the pilot, we might be able to squeeze you in here.
I don't do
there.
pilots anymore. I'm on TSA.
Wow. Okay, rejection on live. National wow. I'm shook.
Okay,
We've
but
got pressing issues to get to. Alma, please.
please
intervene.
use this platform and do your pitch.
Yes, okay.
Hashtag make solar happen. You're looking for donors.
And then
Yes.
hire me when it's been
When
taken.
it's done.
Yeah, when it's
Amen.
done.
Why should people get stuck in and make sure this happens?
Okay, so Solar, first of all, Solar is an action adventure coming of age show. We basically wanted to create a show where, first of all, it's rooted in South Africa. So you're going to find some like Danyat and Dulani, the ones on the sides, the twins. They speak Tsonga in the actual short film. So we really wanted to represent South Africa on the global stage. We didn't want to change much of what we do here.
That's nice.
And then we have some international acts, like in the actual show, but like it's rooted here. And I really wanted people to have a chance to feel represented, to just have a chance to see themselves on TV, and like not just as some weird cartoon that's really like sloppy and like an actual anime. So Sola basically she's a magician in a country where magic is deadly and dangerous, and so she has to fight these magician hunters, and so she's off on this adventure.
Is that who I am? I'm gonna be the magician hunter boss.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. So yeah, you need to get Sola because you want her power.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm doing. That's
so like
definitely
Sola
what
goes
I'm
on this
doing.
adventure and she has to like run away from them while going off to this magical boarding school. I went to boarding school too. So like going to boarding school and to figure out like how am I going to learn this magic? How am I going to protect myself in a world where people want my power?
So how have you managed, and you touched on it a little bit, but how have you managed to navigate just telling nuanced, interesting stories, African stories, right? Keeping it real, but also still navigating the back end, the business end of all of this with people saying,
no,
you're too pretty, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, trusting myself. Okay. That was the first thing. I think when I was in school, when they're teaching you in like Hollywood, like how to produce, they give you sort of the Hollywood model, right? And that's super business, not really focused on the creative. It's very sort of exploitative.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get the business and I understand that there's a product that needs to be marketed, but as a creative, how do I create an environment where these creatives want to come into my space and want to work with me? Because like you said, I had all these hurdles. I didn't have all the money in the world. So I was like, what else can I bring to you to like make you want to come here? So for me, it was really trusting myself and trusting that love and kindness and faith was something that could actually work in the entertainment industry. So
That's really sweet.
I really tried, and it really worked. I really took a gamble. I didn't know if it was gonna work. I could have fallen flat on my face and like been the embarrassment of South Africa.
But you didn't.
I didn't. I'm here. We're still taking donations, so please help us make Sola happen. www.studioyezi.co.za. Hey, honey, please help us.
Thandiwe, love it. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for actually finding one of the main characters on your project.
Yes.
And I'm there to make sure that it is a success.
Okay.
I will give you all my star power.
Oh, wow.
I will give you everything that I can, my energy.
Thank you.
And please come back when they interview us. You know,
we are together.
Anyway, we apologize for our colleague. Askis.
He's always like this.
Whoa.
Listen, see you after the break. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us on SABC3. You're still tuned in to Trending SA right here on SABC3 with your favorite future supervillain. Continue to share your thoughts with us with the hashtag #on3 on our social media platforms. Now, take a vibrant media personality and radio DJ, Ayanda MVP, and a young DJ who has experienced a number of speed humps along his journey, and you have yourself a heartwarming story. We followed Ayanda as she made her dream a reality. Take a look at this.
What's up? It's a leading player and the MVP from 947. I am here with Trending SA because we are here to surprise a young man who's always wanted to be at 947 Studios. He goes by the name of DJ Ezo, so we're going to surprise him, and this is my aero moment to melt into. Hope you're ready. Let's go surprise him. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? I see you started eating without me. My name is Ayanda MVP from 947. Isa, what's going on, DJ? I'm good. I'm right here. Yeah.
That's great. After listening to your voice on the radio, now it's happening.
Now you see me live in action.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
And that was, I think that was like one of my dreams. Like, I want to meet someone from 94.7. I need to get somehow there.
Yeah, well, after COVID and compliances, then you can come through.
Yes.
I want to know more about your DJing. Can I sit next to you?
Anyhow, it doesn't matter.
Izo, now for people out there, I mean, it's been a tough year in terms of the pandemic and a lot of people have been affected by it. What message do you have to uplift them and bring them hope?
In the lockdown, I had what actually, there was a lot of people that inspired me after I had this feeling of where I didn't want to actually love anyone. You know, so much people came forward and like, Izzo, that is not the way out.
Yes.
There is, the struggle is real, and we know that, because, you know, there was other people that were saying, oh, you know, like, well, we don't want to help you, but we're not sure, are you a scam or what? Because like, the problem was coming in where, you know, I can't see, but now I'm replying to messages so fast, and then, you know, there was other people commenting like, how is he responding so quick to messages but I can't see? And then I tried to like explain to them, you understand, that there's a method, you understand what I mean? Yes. So you know, there was people inspired me not to give up, and that's how I can also tell others, you know, that, you know, regardless of what's happening around you, you know, eventually things must change, and I feel like these dark days are coming to an end, you know?
Heartwarming.
Pretty cool.
Heartwarming.
That's really
And
cool.
you know, for me, what I love about things like this is how it takes something that you regard as something so small, and
Absolutely.
and it means the world to somebody.
You know, I think the fundamental, or what makes being a well-known or recognizable person, right? What makes it worthwhile and important is when you turn that thing into a superpower and actually help people. Like, it is absolutely useless. You know, what does Ava DuVernay say? If your dream doesn't include other people, it's not big enough. You know what I mean?
Did you have a moment like that where you were young and impressionable, like a baby Mlauli, and you had an encounter with someone that you'd really looked up to, and it just sparked like something in your imagination?
I wasn't a baby Mlauli, but this happened at Macro.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to meet Winnie Mandela. Always. I was just like, one day I need to meet this woman because I just admired her so much. So there I am at Macro, and I'm turning into the aisle. There is Winnie Mandela, and she's not touching anything. Pre-COVID, she's not touching anything. She's pointing. The bodyguards are taking something at Macro Crown Mines. And she said, Yamfana. And I was like, epic fail.
You didn't even say hi.
Epic fail. I had an entire aisle. It was empty. I could have had a whole conversation with her. I turned around and I left.
And he ran away.
I really wouldn't have picked you as the
I
one
would
that
pay
would run away.
good money to be anywhere in that vicinity, just to see you. Just
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations to Ayanda.
Yep.
That is beautiful. And I feel that, guys, let me challenge everyone at this table.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think we should all have a video of just spending time with somebody and making their day special.
It's also this time of the year, and I think that particularly in this year.
challenge accepted.
Accepted. All right.
I
Cool.
feel a toy run coming up. I
Yeah.
feel some
Yay!
books about to be dished out.
Look at Rafulo going for the books. Straight for the books.
Always about the books. Fantastic stuff. Good night, South Africa. It has been so real, so beautiful, so much fun.